All right, guys, as we close out the December season of movie watching, aka Christmas Fest, I really wanted to talk about the next one that's coming up, the January season of movie watching, and I'm just going to call it January 1st to the 31st. It's just a full, long month, and I got to say, this is one that I haven't talked about yet. I haven't done a full video on it, but I love this season of movie watching. I love it because it's kind of relaxing, and it's just a deep, cold feel of the winter. These movies usually accompanied by drinking something nice and warm, and by some blankets, comfort type of things, maybe some little tea cookies. And so I'm only going to talk about I'm not going to throw in anything random, but there are 6 must watches for January season of movie watching. And one thing that you will notice is that there's a complete absence of Twilight Zone episodes. There's nothing that I can think of. That's usually in the summertime that you see those start to pop up, a lot of those. There's really no like MST3K, even though there's some sci-fi stuff, but it's never like MST3K. That's more summer and some spring and stuff like that. You also don't see like a bunch of the Christian films, okay? So, and I'm not going to like review the movies as I go, but I will kind of talk about who's in it and why it's good for the January season. So the first one is The Attack of the Puppet People, 1958. This is one that I just watch every January, just kind of traditional type of thing. And it's not even that great of a movie. It's a pretty short movie. I think it's like an hour, 15 minutes. It has John Hoyt as the main character, is really good in this. John Agar, a classic low-budget sci-fi actor. June Kinney is really good, and then Scott Peters is in it as well. Peters. That's Attack of the Puppet People, and some nice little character actors in that as well. There is a scene kind of towards the end, speaking of character actors, where the guy on a stage is like a janitor or something is asking John Hoyt's character if he wants some more coffee. So there's coffee in this. Okay, you're going to see that theme come up in some of these films. When Worlds Collide, 1951, it's a better movie than Attack of the Puppet People. It's also a sci-fi film. So we have that 50s sci-fi theme that continues. Barbara Rush is in this. I think she just died like last year, 2023. Richard Durr is really good, and then I like Frank Cady in this as, who else I forgot to put up here? Frank Cady, the doctor on Ozzie and Harriet, but more importantly, you have John Hoyt is in this as well. So John Hoyt again. Even more evil in this. All right, this is a fun movie. When Worlds Collide. Very early sci-fi, like 50s sci-fi. Darth knows this one very well. X, The Man with X-Ray Eyes, 1963. Absolutely love this film. I've got the VHS. It's just one of those rare finds. If I didn't get that VHS, I may not know about it. I'm sure Darth would tell me about it. X, The Man with X-Ray Eyes, 1963. Very good film. There's a coffee scene at the very beginning with the coffee machine in the doctor's office, which is awesome. Ray Milland's character takes Debbie Vanderbilt's character and buys her coffee in the little cheap machine. This is one that I like to watch kind of early in January. Don't wait too long on this one. Okay. Same with this Same with this one, and probably maybe this would be a little after X-Ray Eyes, but so Ray Milland, Vanderbilts, Don Rickles is great in this. You also have the one and only Dick Miller, the great Dick Miller, and you have this is a Roger Corman film. I'm pretty sure. So Roger Corman, so we lost last year. So John Hoyt again. John Hoyt film, and John Hoyt film. So John Hoyt doesn't make it very long in this, but he is in the movie, a very important part of the movie, section of the movie. Boy, I love this film. It's really, really good, guys. So, coffee scene. Frogs, 1972. I should have written that in green. Frogs. All right, Steel. Now, this is one, Frogs, where I had seen the movie poster, the cover of this before, and I always thought it was just this kind of cheap, like kind of almost made for TV looking, not very good 70s like animal horror film, until Ace Leopard 99 suggested watching it maybe close to 10 years ago, I think. And so I finally gave it a shot. It's a real, it's not like a cheap campy type of sci-fi film. So it's really like kind of a serious type of film, but Ray Milland again. So you have another Ray Milland movie. He's great in this. But really Sam Elliott's the real main actor, I think. He's really kind of the main hero. And then you have Joan Van Ark, who is kind of the last girl in this. All right. And then a couple more. Abule knows this one. Rocket, Your Decision. Oh, I should put this here. I'm pretty sure the title does have the exclamation. Rocket, Your Decision, 1982. I think this is maybe 40 minutes or so. So we do have a Christian short film. This one. This is the only one in January season. 1982. A lot of unknown actors or people who've never acted before. Ty Taylor, Steve Whedon is the youth pastor. It's great. And then Laura Branscombe is the girlfriend of Ty Taylor. The parents are I'm not even sure who they are, because the cast listing on IMDb is a little weird. And on the actual film upload, it's really weird. It doesn't say who's who. So this is excellent. I love Rocket, Your Decision. And again, you have that real January feel, and you have a scene where the youth, played by Ty Taylor, and the youth pastor go into the church, and they're kind of bundled up, and they get coffee. So another coffee scene in there. While you're drinking coffee, you're watching these films, guys. It's the theme. And finally, the one that is kind of like in that late, maybe January 22nd kind of area, a little bit later. But usually it should be like a weekend. Okay. 1983's War Games, which is an excellent film if you haven't seen it. This is one that I bought at a VHS in Roanoke, Virginia. It's a little flea market thing. Someone had mentioned it to me, and I remember watching it. I bought it during Christmas break, and I watched it January of that year, and I was like, this is such a good movie. And ever since then, it's just been a great January film, even though it looks like it's really has nothing to do with the film, because it's definitely not like January, the film. It's definitely more fall or spring. Okay, it's in Seattle, but yeah, Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy, Dabney Coleman, we just lost him recently, so in his 90s. John Wood is great in this. It's the guy who is dead, who fakes his own death. And James Tolkien, of course. I mean, others include, Dabney Coleman. I mentioned Dabney Coleman. Barry Corbin. Eddie Deason is in this. Maury Chauvin, and it has the first film appearance by Michael Madsen. You also have a little uncredited thing by William H. Macy. still unable to pick him out of this film. So, all right, but this one, deserves a full review. War Games, and it's got to be January. So these are the big six, the ones that have to be watched. Other possibilities include Capricorn 1, 1974, another sci-fi film, real serious sci-fi film. I really like this one. Hal Holbrook is outstanding in this. You have the three astronauts, Sam Waterston, I can't forget the other guy, O.J. Simpson, and a bunch of other really good actors in Capricorn 1. It's a great film. Rigged Mars Landing. I love this movie. And then The Snowman, 1982, short film, animated kind of. I just remember seeing this as a kid, it being like advertised, the DVD, VHS, whatever, being like advertised on, like, while I was watching cartoons, and it was in January. They'd always show this, like, it was promoting like buying the DVD or the VHS, but it's a good like 20 to 30 minute short film. It could be Christmas Fest too. It is kind of Christmas Fest related. There's a little weird like short Santa Claus scene in this, but it's really better for January. But it's not a must watch. It's just one of those kind of throw-ins, but it's a good one. Ghost Keeper is almost becoming a must watch. 1982. This one is a film like you would watch if it snows in January. You're going to want to watch this one. It's a horror film. It is Canadian, I think, and I think it's not a typical 80s horror. Trust me, it's not like a cookie cutter formulaic 80s horror. It has a weird ending that I can't really even figure out what the heck has happened really, but it's in the snow. Okay, so it's like it's the most packed with snow horror film you'll probably ever see, with the snowmobiles, and they're abandoned at this like old lodge, this house. It's really good. And there's an old woman who's eating this sandwich there. It looks really good. So they have coffee. So there's the coffee scene by the fire. So it's really good for if it snows. A good horror film to watch. Ghost Keeper. It's a really good film. So that's like, this one is like, I'll put a little like one up there. One. If snow, okay. If not, you just save it, and maybe if it snows in February, watch it then. Okay, during February omen season. This one is North of the Sun, 1974. Kind of the same deal, even though if it doesn't snow, I'll watch it anyway, like in February, but it can be January. And this film, it's kind of documentary, like Gordon Eastman, just an outstanding film. I love North of the Sun, 1974. It is excellent. I have uploaded it's not available to watch online, but I did upload like the whole film, part 1 and part 2 on YouTube if you ever want to check it out. I'd like to do a cleaner upload of that, like a better picture of it. The VHS, the sound is not the best, but I could probably get a better picture of it and hope maybe get it into one. But this is so awesome. The guy goes to live with the Eskimos, and it's just, I love this movie. And there's stuff about like drinking little coffee and eating these little snacks that the Eskimos enjoy. So it's awesome. These little like bread cakes or donut things. Oh yeah, baby. Snow Beast is the same deal. So this one I almost watch every single year. It's, preferably if it snows. This is really a good one. But yeah, Snow Beast is awesome. I forget who's in it. Bo Svensson is the tall blonde guy. But yeah, I love this movie. Snow Beast, 1977, made for TV movie. So great shots of like kind of a sun, kind of an afternoon, sunny. It's a ski resort and all this formulaic, man versus beast thing. So Snow Beast is excellent. Okay, and then like just a couple more I threw in there. These are kind of throw-ins, but Lure of the Swamp, 1957. It does have Marshall Thompson of Bog. There's something like that, 50s sci-fi. And then something I just read about, another hard from the 80s that's snow-related, Curtains, 1983. I think it's mostly women in the film, but it looks like something kind of interesting to check out that has, snow horror type of film. All right, that's it for the January season of movie watching, which is a wonderful time of year, a wonderful season for movie watching. Now, Omen season used to begin for me in late January. So I would watch Omen 1976 before, when the Super Bowl was like first weekend in February. I'd try to maybe get that in the Saturday, maybe late January or even like the Saturday night before the Super Bowl. I'd get the Omen in. Now that's definitely February. Okay, so if you want to continue, if you want to watch it, then go ahead. But I'll talk about Omen season next, and then that's pretty much it. I just think we're gonna have, since February is a short month anyway, it deserves kind of its own thing. But Omen season goes into March, so we'll talk about that on the next video. So these are the main ones: Attack of the Puppet People, When Worlds Collide, X the Man with X-Ray Eyes, Frogs, Rockets Your Decision, and War Games, all must-watch films for the January season of movie watching, with a lot of warm coffee, chicory in my case, nice little cookies, and whatever else kind of gets you warm as you kind of segue out of the December, and try to find something uplifting to shake off and push away those post-Christmas blues that we all have. So it's one of my favorite seasons, and we're going to enjoy it. And then next time we'll talk about the one and only, the Omen season. So I think that's it. I can't think of any other films that are like must-watches from this time, but I will get into like Omen season for the next one. So, all right, there it is, guys. Watch and learn and enjoy, and I'll see you next time.